The Galapagos Islands. The most extraordinary place on Earth. Where spectacular animals live side by side with people. Meet Monty Halls, explorer and marine biologist.
I'm not grabbing that. It's massive.
He's so passionate about these islands.
Right there, that is the promised land.
That he's moving here.
Okay, got it. Next time, I promise.
But what makes this expedition different is that his family are coming too.
There is no greater explorer than a 5-year-old.
It's gonna be amazing!
It'll be a chance for all of them.
Look at this.
I found one!
To discover what makes these islands so special.
I couldn't believe my eyes. An egg!
But it's not all play.
I got shit in my tail.
You did.
The family will see firsthand how the way we live is threatening even this remote paradise.
The islands are getting in danger.
Everything to do with human existence is here on this beach.
And they'll be finding out just what the future holds.
Up we go, let's go.
For these remarkable islands.
If we can't save the Galapagos, then what about the rest of the world?
"40 years ago, the Galapagos Islands became one of the first ever World Heritage Sites. A beacon of ecological importance for the rest of the planet. But in those 40 years, the world's human population has almost doubled, whilst global animal numbers have halved. And even these remote Pacific islands are not immune.
So now is a really pivotal time in the future of these islands. Everyone knows they're special, and they're unique, and they're precious.
Monty is president of the UK's only Galapagos conservation charity.
Just trying to get them away.
He wants to find out what we can all do to protect these islands and their wildlife. So he'll be getting hands-on with groundbreaking science and conservation projects. But unlike his usual expeditions, this time he's uprooting a unique research team from their home in Devon. His wife Tamsin and their daughters Isla and Molly.
I think the sense of curiosity and the sense of wonder that Isla and Molly are going to have when they see these islands, I don't want to over-egg it, but I'm beside myself.
The kids are the perfect prism for seeing the world through fresh eyes.
To see Isla and Molly getting involved in the adventure and the exploration of the place, it's going to be a really lovely experience.
Just hours before they leave, the reality of moving the family to Galapagos for 3 months is beginning to hit home.
I'm doing my last bit of packing. Moles,
I put
what are you up to?
vegan balloons.
And what have you got in the case with you to go to the Galapagos? Have you made a nest?
Daddy,
Good.
come with me.
It's like going on a hen do.
The 2 mini hens.
Yeah.
Daddy, your face.
Oh, excellent, yes.
Sparkles, lavender, jingles, and waddly.
This is the start, really. I think for me, of realising this is going to be an altogether different experience.
The family have a 36-hour journey ahead of them. First from Bristol to Amsterdam. Then across the Atlantic, nearly 6,000 miles to Quito, the capital of Ecuador. Before 600 miles further, into the heart of the Pacific and the Galapagos. Until the 1960s, the only way to reach what mariners called the Enchanted Isles was by boat. Today, they are part of Ecuador, and over 30 commercial flights a week bring in over 200,000 visitors each year. And 4 more have just landed.
Hi there. Thank you very much.
Yes, I need look. Please
Oh, yeah, of course, of course.
Any fruit or seed or cheese or milk? Can I have you? No?
Dog?
In most airports, guards are on the lookout for drugs and guns.
No problem.
That isn't mine.
Yeah.
But in Galapagos, enemy number 1 is a little different.
Yeah. Oh, that's might be a bit of straw, actually.
This is the problem.
Molly's suitcase nest may be about to cost Monty a $19,000 fine.
What's your name?
Oh, Monty Halls. We're from Britain.
It's possibly in this the right like the yeast or the acid is the product is the problem is the plaga in Galapagos. Before this will take it. Okay? Thank you very much.
In the Galapagos, even the tiniest insects could disturb the island's sensitive ecosystem.
Okay, thank you.
But luckily, this time, Monty gets off with just a slap on the wrist.
Come on. Hello.
Outside,
I'm Robbie.
Hello, Robbie.
the family are met by Robbie, a local guide who's going to help them settle in.
You're our most welcome sight.
The Galapagos are a group of 13 major and 6 smaller volcanic islands. Just 4 of them are inhabited. And the Halls family are staying on an island about 1/10 of the size of Yorkshire, called Santa Cruz. Its highlands rise to 3,000 feet above sea level and are blanketed in thick forest.
This is fun, Mom.
It is.
I don't want that noise.
It's actually a type of cloud forest, unique to these islands. 1 in 3 of its plants are found nowhere else on Earth, including the Scolacia, a type of daisy that grows 20 meters tall.
Wow. We need to get them in and get them to bed. They're shattered. Come on, Smiler. Come on, take that, you poor old thing. Let me see that path. That's just at the top of the path. Should we go and have a look? Those flowers. Wow.
Okay, there we go.
Oh
Oh my God. Like a nice house.
Look at that, Miles.
No, the next step.
Look at this
No, the
place.
next step. Amazing.
Right, we're in. Go on then, Moles. Wow.
Aww.
Look
Oh my God, it's amazing.
this.
Oh, want to get
Look at this.
Oh, amazing.
Every time I come to the Galapagos, I feel like that inside,
It's super fun.
but I'm just too tightly wrapped to bounce on a bed. So, yeah, it's great.
Where 36 hours of travel meets 7 time zones of jet lag, exploring will have to wait until morning. The biggest town in the Galapagos is Puerto Ayora, just 3 miles down the road from the family home. On the surface, it's a normal seaside town. But what makes this place extraordinary is that when people moved in about 100 years ago, the animals didn't move out.
Puerto Ayora is always a magical moment for anyone who comes to the Galapagos. It's the first chance you get to get really close to the animals.
Okay. Okay,
Right.
let's go.
Let's go, chaps.
Ready?
Come on.
Hold hands.
With few natural predators, these creatures are ecologically naive, which means they're not really scared of anything. So they treat us just like any other animal they can't eat or mate with total disdain. Ecuador was the first country in the world to recognize the rights of nature in its constitution. And there's a law here that people must keep at least 2 meters away from any animal.
Right, this way, come this way, come this way.
Come on.
Right, up we go, let's go.
Oh, keep walking, keep walking.
Maybe someone should tell the sea lions.
Oh, there you go,
Bunny,
look.
the
She's
sea
just
lion.
going into the sea.
Oh, that's where she wants to go.
And she goes.
And off she goes.
And she's off.
Oh.
I like Galapagos because all the wildlife there is just so amazing that I couldn't believe my eyes.
With her bottom sticking out slightly, just like you when you're swimming, Isla.
Look here! I can see her still. She's coming up to me.
You're going to watch it all the way out.
The animals here aren't just unusually tame, they are special in all kinds of ways. Some are giants. Brown pelicans and frigate birds, both having over 7-foot wingspans. The Galapagos sea lion, on the other hand, is the smallest sea lion species on Earth. And there are fewer than 400 pairs of these lava gulls in the world, all here on Galapagos. But what all Puerto Ayora locals have in common is that they know where to pick up an easy meal.
Look how big that one is.
That's a giant lobster. That must be like, how old?
That's huge. Yeah. 7
7
pounds.
pounds.
Wow.
The waters around Galapagos are amongst the richest on Earth and the most protected. Within an exclusion zone the size of Belgium, only small-scale local fishing is allowed.
He's hungry.
Well, he can just go back into the sea and fish whatever he wants out of the sea, can't he? Sounds like he's doing lots of birds, doesn't it? Sounds like Molly.
You've got an entire ecosystem in the size of a squash court. So you've got the top predators, you've got the sea lions, you've got people, you've got all the fish, you've got the bottom feeders, the crayfish, and there it is, all rammed in. It's almost too much to take in. See, that's tuna.
Okay, so we want to get some of that.
Who would have thought going off to buy fish for your dinner would be an experience you'd remember for the rest of your life?
I think that's an interesting thing.
This one piece will make 52 layers.
Watch on mobile devices or the big screen. All for free. No subscription required.
It's morning on the Galapagos. And the Halls family are making plans.
What would you like to do today?
Let's go snorkeling. Yes, and diving. And sea lions. Marine iguanas. Baby turtles.
And unicorns! So that's the list.
In these enchanted isles, which mariners believe appeared as if by magic, unique creatures are everywhere you look. 80% of Galapagos land birds and an astonishing 97% of its reptiles are found nowhere else on the planet. But it was one man who came here nearly 200 years ago who first realized just how special these creatures are.
The chap behind me there is Charles Darwin. He changed the way we think about the natural world. He changed the way we think about ourselves.
Darwin, a naturalist and biologist, spent just 5 weeks here in 1835. But what he'd observed and collected on that visit shaped his life's work.
So in 1859, Origin of Species was published, the most important publication in the history of science.
By studying the birds and tortoises on different islands, Darwin realized that animals are shaped by their environment, changing over time into completely new species. What's known today as the theory of evolution.
The natural history of these islands is eminently curious. There is even a difference between the inhabitants of the different islands. And there we are. That is the start of the origin of species, that sentence right there.
Darwin's influence in the Galapagos is stronger today than ever, inspiring countless scientists and tourists to follow in his footsteps. And today, the Halls family are doing just that. They're going in search of the island's most iconic resident. The giant tortoise.
Found one, Mum! I found one! Found one! Found one! Hello.
It's thought that ancestors of the giant Galapagos, that's Spanish for tortoise, washed up here over 2 million years ago, giving these islands their very name.
He's very big.
He's huge, isn't he?
Up to 15 different species have been recorded, weighing up to 400 kilos. It was their different shaped shells that helped Darwin recognize evolution in action. But even he couldn't resist the temptation to ride on one.
Daddy, will it hurt us if we don't give
Oh,
it
it
this
won't
time?
hurt us. They just eat plants. I think this one might be having a bit of a sleep.
The last one that Darwin himself may have seen was called Harriet. And she died just 10 years ago, aged about 175.
How fast can giant tortoises go?
Not very fast at all. Look, there you go.
Oh,
He's having a little walk.
it's like one step at a time, isn't it?
Giant tortoises don't run away from anything. 'Cause they don't have any predators.
That was true for millions of years. But it all changed when people first discovered the Galapagos, and then discovered how tasty its tortoises were.
Do you know what's the horrible thing about giant tortoises? That pirates used to eat them. They threw the shells overboard and only ate the yummy bits.
People no longer eat tortoises, but we do still pose them a threat. As the Halls discovered, it is all too easy to accidentally import foreign stowaways. And before controls were introduced, people deliberately brought all kinds of plants and animals with them. Many of these have run riot, wreaking havoc on tortoise populations by throwing the island's delicate ecology out of balance. And back home,
I do pegging, you do rotting up.
unwanted visitors are even throwing a spanner in the works of idyllic family life.
I saw things there.
Of course you are. Well done, honey.
Ow, my shoe! We got bitten by fire ants. Yes, thanks. And what ants?
The fire ant is one of the most pernicious invasives. Accidentally brought here with cargo from the mainland, it's been known to eat bird and tortoise hatchlings and even bite little girls' toes.
I've got
sausage.
spit in my tear.
You did.
Naughty fire.
Naughty fire ant.
ants by the washing line. The kids running around outside, for us, isn't an option, so we need to work on the fire ant issue out there.
You know, same as all the other kids on the island. They can't play in the gardens because of this invasive species that's coming. So, you know, that's our first little lesson, isn't it?
Lesson,
Yeah.
Painful lesson.
Ants aren't the only things spreading like wildfire. On Santa Cruz, news travels fast. The word on the street is that something extraordinary is happening in Puerto Ayora.
The girls are sleeping in the house. The house is about 5 kilometres that way. But I heard about this demonstration happening tonight.
The Galapagos National Park and Ecuadorian Navy have just seized an illegal Chinese fishing boat. In its hold, over 6,000 endangered sharks, the largest illegal haul ever caught here.
Un buque con una capacidad de más de 2.000 toneladas, con 300 toneladas a bordo.
This is an unprecedented show of support from local residents.
And I've spotted Robbie.
Like Robbie and his kids.
My friends are over at that corner, and they're all here, and they make posters just like we.
So you're leading the charge for the next generation.
We could say that all kids are.
The Galapagos are amongst the most protected places on Earth. But this haul shows that even in a World Heritage Site, wildlife isn't immune to global threats. And the people here know it.
If ever I needed proof of the passion here for the islands and conservation and the people of the islands wanting to change things, here it is, larger than life.
In Puerto Ayora, the dust has settled. But in the clear light of day, Monty is realizing that the Galapagos Islands have reached a tipping point.
It's a huge vessel, just harvesting the sea, and utterly unsustainable. Imagine if a container was found in Africa with 700 lions in it, 300 tons of lions had been taken illegally. There would be global outrage. This has to stop, otherwise the shark will disappear from these islands, you know, without a doubt. And if the shark disappears from these islands, then what is the future of the shark everywhere else in the world as well? You know, it's shocking, absolutely shocking.
The Halls family have been on the Galapagos for just a few days. But already they've adapted to island life, living side by side with the animals. Moving here is a golden opportunity for the whole family to learn about a completely different world.
There's just so much wildlife around the beaches.
For 5-year-old Isla, that means her first day at a new school.
Well, let's go and find your classroom. Yep, okay.
Hola. Hello. Buenos días. Good morning. Welcome, Laila. Come.
Okay, come and say hi.
Laila. Oh, bienvenida, Laila. Welcome to the Spanish class.
Say hola.
Hi.
3-year-old Molly is too young for school, but with a marine biologist dad in a natural paradise, the whole island becomes a classroom.
I see a mermaid, Dad.
You want to see a mermaid?
Yeah.
Right, we will do our best.
In a land where dragons roam the streets, surely a mermaid's not too much to ask.
No, there's no mermaids here at the moment. They're all out fishing. I think the closest thing we have to a mermaid might be your mother.
Tam is a keen environmentalist, and during her stay on the islands, wants to find out more about how they are coping with challenges facing the whole planet.
I'm really concerned about our children growing up and there not being particular species left in the oceans. So for me, this sort of environmental awareness for us as a family is going to be really important.
This is probably one of the most beautiful beaches here in the Galapagos.
The sand's changed, hasn't it? And now it's really fine.
Tam is joining marine biologist JP to survey the health of Galapagos beaches.
You haven't seen nothing yet.
The Galapagos are right in the middle of the world. They straddle the equator and are the meeting point for some of the Pacific's major ocean currents. These currents brought life here, including cold water colonists, like sea lions and even penguins. What washes up on the Galapagos is a barometer of what's going on throughout the rest of the world.
Oh my
So
word.
this is Cerro Brujo.
Well, it's stunning.
This probably is a beach that is in the same shape as Charles Darwin saw.
200 years maybe
Yeah.
has passed and it's still the same.
Yeah, the same
Amazing.
thing.
JP is monitoring how these beaches are changing, with random sampling, searching the sand for anything that shouldn't be here.
Hang on.
Okay, how many meters you have?
33.
So every 6 meters, we're gonna use this quadrant. 6 meters, there.
I can't see anything. No.
Nothing, no?
Nothing. 0.
0.
Yes.
Okay, now we go to 12 meters.
Okay. Again, there's
0.
nothing there.
To the naked eye, this beach gets a clean bill of health.
It's totally unspoilt.
So this is a pristine beach.
Utterly pristine.
Absolutely
Yeah.
pristine. I'm gonna take you to somewhere else.
Okay.
JP's next stop is a bay just 15 minutes away. Like most of this island, it's normally off-limits to visitors. But it's exposed to different winds and currents. The tides that brought life to these islands today wash up a very different haul. Plastic.
If you walk all this coastline, you will find this. All half of the coast of this island, for example.
I'm shocked, but I'm really saddened, actually. It just makes me feel really sad that there's so much going on in terms of the pollution of our environments, you know, the plastic litter that's here. And I feel really helpless. I don't really know what I can do to help what's going on.
JP's surveys revealed Galapagos' dirty secret. That waste plastic from as far away as China and Russia rides the ocean currents to the beaches of one of the world's most protected places.
This is Peru.
Right, okay.
Peru, China, Ecuador. It's a worldwide problem. The only difference between climate change and plastic pollution in our oceans is that we can see the impact.
Yeah. It's a problem that's affecting everywhere in the world, not just the Galapagos. And, you know, you don't necessarily see it, you know, when you visit the beaches if you come here as a tourist, but it's happening on the beaches here and it's happening all around the world.
Like all scientists, JP is looking for patterns in the data.
For example, you have items like this. So it's Nestlé, Coca-Cola,
Cola as well.
and, you know, Colgate, Colgate.
Colgates, yeah.
These companies all have policies in place to reduce their plastic footprint. But we all have to take responsibility too. Because when plastic is dumped in the sea, it breaks down into tiny pieces, and even worse damage is done.
This is the stomach content of a dead sea turtle found here in the Galapagos.
No.
So you can see here, like plastic bags mainly,
Yeah.
ropes.
Oh, God.
Plastic pieces get smaller still, forming immense ocean garbage patches.
This is a sample from the ocean.
Wow. And then they get even smaller and smaller.
And smaller. And that's the problem. Every plastic that has been created since the 19th century is still on this planet and is gonna be still on this planet forever. So plastic as diamonds are forever.
Yeah, and plastic is too. The problem is totally out of control, and I know there's lots of people doing lots of good work to try and find solutions to it, but it's going to take the whole world, all the countries that are producing plastic, to get together and to say we need to stop doing it.
All the rubbish. It's hurting the animals. It's stinking all the turtles. It's really bad.
The Galapagos National Park plays a key role in protecting the islands, whether from the impact of plastic waste or from illegal fishing. And in the past 4 years, they have also been involved in over 300 research projects. During his stay, Monty plans to join some of them to find out more about their work.
You must have, absolutely.
And how it impacts us all.
A lot of the stuff that's happened to these islands and to the environment generally has happened on our watch. We need to take responsibility for that and say, right, we need to do something about it right now.
In the next few weeks, he has 2 very different research trips lined up. For the first one, Robbie has invited him to join a quest to uncover the secrets of a real sea monster.
What we're looking for is the distinct dorsal fin, which is kind of the top fin sticking out of the water.
This team from the Galapagos National Park and St. Francis University in Quito in Ecuador are led by Jackie Alvarez. And they're looking for an ocean sunfish.
It's a very distinct action with the sunfish. It's this kind of waggling, gentle movement. It's because of the way they swim. They swim like that.
5 different types of sunfish have been found around the world. But the ones in Galapagos are still shrouded in mystery.
The Galapagos ones are important because they have bigger sizes.
Bigger sizes.
And they are located all around the archipelago.
Yeah.
So we want to see if they are residents or they are migratory.
The size of these sunfish could make them unique. 1 in 5 of all Galapagos marine species are found nowhere else on Earth. But to be sure, Jackie needs DNA samples.
Yeah, there you go, there's the sunfish. Do you see that big dorsal fin waving? That's big.
Sunfish can weigh over 1,000 kilos. So it'll need at least 2 people to catch one. That's where Monty comes in. That one got away. The team needs to refine its technique.
You're super strong.
From the front. Yeah.
Ahí, Robbie.
They've spotted a second sunfish.
Es el mismo, es el mismo.
Wait. Go. Okay, go.
The team must work fast to minimize stress to the fish.
This amazing animal is the largest bony fish on Earth. Lays 300 million eggs. Robbie's about to take a skin sample. Extraordinary animals, and they're just immense.
Its Latin name, mola, means millstone, and you can see why.
Its eye is right in front of me. I'm eye to eye with it.
Sunfish tagged and sample taken. It's time to let this giant go.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, it goes.
And push him down, push him down.
And off it goes.
Whoa!
Mission accomplished, and Monty's bagged himself a whopper of a fisherman's tail.
When I first swam up to it, I was like, I'm not grabbing that. It's massive.
But most importantly, the DNA sample will help reveal how these Galapagos giants fit into the sunfish family tree.
That's a little hard drive, that is. It's population, it's lineage, it's geographic, the significance of the area it's in related to other sunfish. It's all in there. Isn't that amazing?
It was a good one.
He was a very good one.
On the Galapagos, it's the weekend. Although the islands themselves are small, they do have miles of coastline just waiting to be discovered. For the Halls family, there's something for everyone.
Just keen.
They are keen.
I can already see a massive sea lion. That's probably the daddy. He's like this in the surf.
Very proud, isn't he?
Oh, look, Daddy, that one's had 2 babies.
Oh, yeah.
Dad, look, there's another baby.
There's another baby. There's babies everywhere.
There is no greater explorer than a 5-year-old.
The only problem with 5-year-old explorers is they can't put on their own wetsuits.
I'm just cleaning your mouth.
There's a danger, I think, when I visit these sites that you might view them through the eyes of a biologist. And that's just not going to happen this time. Because I know the kids are going to be just utterly blown away.
Monty is a diving veteran of several thousand dives over 3 decades. But nothing beats taking your own little explorer on her first trip into an unknown world. A green sea turtle. Worldwide, 6 of the 7 sea turtle species are in danger of extinction. But this one is quite happy to share the water with 2 new companions.
There were 3 animals there having an absolute ball. One was Isla, one was me, and the other one was the turtle, which was genuinely swam up, had a little look at us, kind of curious. There's an animal that's been around, probably given the size of that turtle, 60, 70 years, maybe 80 years.
For a marine biologist, sharing the sea with an ancient ocean voyager is impressive. For a 5-year-old, it's magical.
It felt like I was diving, not just snorkeling around in a shallow. It was amazing.
So you don't get many chances in life to be a hero. Out there today, showing Isla that turtle, felt like a bit of a hero. That was really special.
Being able to get this close to nature makes the Galapagos a living laboratory for scientists. Hundreds of ongoing research projects constantly reveal new secrets of the natural world. But Monty is interested in what impact these projects might have on the animals themselves. So for his second research trip, he's joining JP and his colleagues from the Galapagos Science Center on a totally different turtle encounter. Scientists have been tagging turtles since the 1950s, revealing that they travel thousands of miles between feeding grounds before returning to the beach where they were born to breed. JP wants to know whether the tagging process itself might interfere with the turtle's normal behavior.
catching an animal and put it on the boat and doing all the process of science, you know, taking samples, measurements, weights, everything, isn't stress. Yeah. So we want to measure when the animal stops being stressed. And one of the ways of measuring that is that if the animal start mating or if the animal start eating. You know, so in the time that the animals start doing all those kind of things, it means that he's relaxed again, yeah. And he is.
I'm exactly the same.
Exactly, exactly.
To find out when a turtle recovers from being tagged, you need to spy on it. And JP has developed a way to do just that. The team have come to Kicker Rock, the eroded remains of an extinct volcano. It's a stunning location. Which only gets more beautiful beneath the waves. It's not long before the team spot what they're looking for. Target acquired.
The idea now is to keep it out of the water for the minimum time possible.
The first job is to fix the tags.
We attach 2 of these earrings in each flipper. They are migratory species. They can be here one day, but the next day they can be in Indonesia.
Then it's time for JP's secret weapon, a modified camera and acoustic tag which lets the team track the turtle and see into its hidden world.
And also recording depth and temperature. Yeah.
Every second. That's it.
JP Spit is the best adhesive known in the world of turtle science.
Good to go? Ready? Say hello.
We're good.
Then it's just a case of returning the turtle safely to the seabed. And seeing how long it takes for it to get its mojo back. Turtles can hold their breath for several hours, so the team could have a wait on their hands. But just 15 minutes after being tagged, it looks like normal turtle service is resumed. If feeding and mating are signs of being relaxed, this turtle looks like a Zen master.
How wonderful.
This experiment shows that for this turtle at least, the tagging process isn't hugely stressful.
Manta ray.
The camera will stay on for just 3 hours, but it is already revealing new behavior in this iconic species that scientists always thought led a mostly solitary life.
You get an impression of how much they actually hang out with each other.
Yeah, all sorts of new information that in the past we didn't know.
JP's turtle cam is the perfect example of why scientists, ever since Darwin, have flocked to the Galapagos for a uniquely intimate view of the secrets of the natural world.
It's a glimpse of another world, isn't it? That we don't see. We're not privileged to see this world.
Exactly.
And now we can.
A day in the life of
a green
sea turtle.
just wonder what Charles Darwin would have made of all this. You know, I think he would have been very, very happy on this boat.
Here, the privileged access to nature that so affected Darwin is just as impressive today.
One of the things that's really struck me over the last few weeks, having been here with my family, is the way we're accepted by the animals here. You're just another species within the ecosystem as far as they're concerned.
But as more and more people come here, there's an ever-increasing responsibility to preserve the delicate balance that makes the Galapagos so special.
What I'd really like to find out over the next few weeks is, are we living up to that responsibility? Are these islands safe in our hands?
The Galapagos Islands, the most extraordinary place on Earth, where spectacular animals live side by side with people. Meet Monty Halls, explorer and marine biologist, and his unique research team, wife Tam and kids Isla and Molly.
There is no greater explorer than a 5-year-old.
They've already spent a month
I found one!
exploring the Galapagos we don't normally get to see.
I'm not grabbing that. It's massive.
Everything to do with human existence is here on this beach.
Now,
Okay.
they want to find out what really makes these islands tick.
Look at this. You always think of conservation as being about animals. It's not. It's about people.
40 years after they became a World Heritage Site,
The islands are getting in danger.
the family have realized that the responsibility for preserving this remarkable place lies with all of us.
Right, up we go. Let's go. Oh, easy. He's got attitude.
And Monty has one pressing question he wants to answer.
Are we living up to that responsibility? Are these islands safe in our hands?
On Galapagos, love for the islands can be a double-edged sword. It is a dream holiday destination, top of countless bucket lists. In 1996, 40,000 tourists came here. By 2015, there were over 200,000. And numbers are still going up. With all this amazing wildlife on hand, it's easy to see why. But Galapagos isn't just home to animals. 30,000 people live here, too. The Halls family have joined them, making their base in the Santa Cruz cloud forest, which, as the name might suggest, is a little damp.
It's raining again, is it? That's rubbish.
Okay, that's Isla Smiler's morning routine. Assuming those legs are Molly's. Basically, rain came barreling in. And, yeah, gave us a right old pasting. But there we are, that's living in the Highlands.
Many visitors are drawn by Galapagos' ecological diversity. Just a few miles can separate dramatically different ecosystems. And even similar habitats can vary hugely from island to island. A month into his trip, Monty wants to find out whether the Galapagos and its wildlife can cope with the demands of all the people who live and visit here. His first mission is from his home on Santa Cruz to the island of Santiago. It's uninhabited and fringed with mangrove, a globally threatened ecosystem.
The first thing that happens when a bit of coastline is developed is the mangroves are cleared. The moment you do that, you deprive all these animals of a habitat to grow up in. It's simple as that.
In the open ocean, young fish must contend with raging currents and hungry predators. So the mangroves provide a safe haven for some to grow up in. Monty has joined a Galapagos National Park research trip.
Ya, vamos. 1, 2, 3.
To see what's hiding in this fishy nursery.
Mangroves are incredibly important ecosystems. There's a vivid illustration. Net's been in the water 1 minute.
If the pelicans don't get there first, these scientists are looking for baby sharks. They are indicator species, which hold clues as to the health of the whole marine ecosystem.
Oh, yeah, there's one there. Getting the sharks out of the water is critical, getting them out as quickly as possible. There's the reason the guys always monitor the net. If the shark's in there for any length of time, it'll die.
This is a black-tip shark. Time for lead scientist Jennifer to get to work.
So this is real pressure for the team. They need to sample the shark as quickly as possible, about 3 minutes or so, and get it back in the water.
10 years experience
3H4
means Jennifer knows her way around a shark.
El 1270.
First, the length.
It's possible you...
Yes, of course, to hold it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Una pinza.
Then the tag, a microchip to track the shark if it's caught again.
797000593.
Then the sex.
Now you...
Oh, the underside.
Es hembra. Y mírenle en el orificio si ya está cerrado.
Finally, the weight.
Okay, peso.
All on a slippery slab of muscle with teeth like razor blades.
You can still get bitten by these. Okay, we're good?
In and out of the water in 3 minutes.
Fantastic.
These surveys help the national park see how fragile ecosystems are changing throughout the islands. But Santiago's mangroves are full of surprises.
Jennifer.
The crew have spotted 2 suspicious fishing boats. Time for Jennifer to flip from good cop to bad cop.
So they're just going through the catch and just figuring out what they're catching. And this policing role is really key to the work they do.
The Galapagos National Park has laws to protect fish stocks. Licensed fishermen must stick to a controlled season and a minimum catch size.
Wow, there's a lot of really small ones. There's maybe 200, 300 of these. And also the females taken with eggs as well.
Preserving breeding females is vital for a healthy population.
If you take one lobster with eggs, you're taking thousands of lobsters, essentially. So that's right there, that's the future of this fishery.
And it could cost these fishermen a $10,000 fine. Policing the rules protects lobsters and legitimate fishermen who rely on them for a living. Depleted fish stocks exacerbate other problems too. 30,000 people live on Galapagos, with many more visiting each year, and feeding them is a major issue. Today, 90% of all food is imported from the Ecuadorian mainland, 600 miles away. But although most of Galapagos is protected national park, there are farms here. And moves are afoot to encourage locals and visitors to feed themselves.
There's lots of families over here with lots of children, and you've got to keep them fed. So no, I think it's a necessity to be able to grow and produce your own fruit and vegetables.
Tam has been thinking about the Halls family's food footprint on the islands. She's come to meet Karina, a neighbour with her own startup organic veg scheme.
So, okay, you're gonna be helping me with planting garlic.
Okay.
So we're gonna measure 10 centimeters.
Yeah.
And we're gonna put some of these sticks like that.
Yeah.
You can start from that one.
And goes out in there.
She's cleared this land of rocks, built greenhouses and shade canopies, and organically enriched her thin soil to produce low-impact, sustainable food. And all with a rapidly growing family.
So we have a similar sized allotment, we call them allotments at home, but with 2 young children and trying to grow anything and maintain it and weed it, it's kind of like a full-time job.
I quit my job in order to do this.
Right. And what were you doing before?
I've been all over. I've worked in conservation in many places.
It's still small scale, but Karina is sowing the seeds of a much bigger idea on these islands.
She's amazing. She's trying to sort of convince and talk to and work with the other farmers on the island to try and produce organic farming methods rather than using pesticides and chemicals to produce crops over here. Because we're relying on everything being shipped over here, aren't we?
90% of Galapagos food is shipped.
Yeah.
But if you do something sustainable, then you have a closed circle and everything can go wrong, but you can still feed yourself.
Yeah, exactly. There's no food shortages or anything like that.
Exactly.
So she's giving up her job to try and make it happen, and she's really inspired me to try and produce some of our own produce as well.
Planting their own kitchen garden could reduce the family's food footprint on the islands. But most Galapagos residents live in built-up areas. So it's not something everyone here can do. And with most of the islands protected by the Galapagos National Park, there's a limit to how much farming can be done.
One thing is very obvious, is that it's hugely complicated here. So we're going to push a bit further afield and just try and get under the skin of what's really going on here in terms of population growth, and just trying to learn a little bit more about an island that is a bit more kind of pristine, smaller population.
There are 4 inhabited islands in the Galapagos. Where Santa Cruz is home to over 15,000 people, Isabella has a population of less than 3,000. Covering an area a little larger than Somerset, the vast majority of Isabella is completely uninhabited. Which makes a trip to the capital, Puerto Villamil, a bit like stepping back in time.
Isla Smiler, come on, we're off. How you feeling, Isla?
Ow!
All under control, we still got Mummy?
Maybe we can see pelicans.
False!
Is that Charles Darwin?
That is.
How old was Charles Darwin when he came here, Isla?
5?
Look, it's not like a main road, is it? It's all sandy.
Oh, look! Over in there!
Flamingos!
The kids have taken to Isabella like a pink duck to water.
I just glanced up and there she was. That's that little scrap of nothing, on her own, in a world of her own, dancing on a beach as the surf crashed in behind her. I've seen it again and again with young people. I've experienced it again and again with young people. That you put them in an environment that is a little bit wild. You know, any forest, any beach, any coast, and regardless of where they come from, regardless of background, and regardless of upbringing, they come alive.
The Halls family has come to the Galapagos island of Isabella to see how a place so beautiful and popular copes with so many visitors. It's an immediate hit with Molly. Local guide Pablo first came here 2 decades ago and has never left. He knows more than most how this island has kept its magic.
In those 20 years, what has changed in Isabella?
I remember back in those years, we didn't have electricity 24 hours. It was completely different, like no sidewalks, no street lights, very few cars, maybe 3-4 cars, that was all here.
When this was designated a World Heritage Site in 1978, they said it can handle 8,000 visitors. And now it's 200,000, and it goes up every year. Do you think that's a problem?
I think that is a challenge that we all have. We need to learn and to find the proper ways to manage it. Because most people that comes to Galapagos, it's true, it's more risk for the islands. But also, the most people that experiences the Galapagos is going to have such a positive experience. If you love nature, this is one of those places where you should be.
Pablo's a nature evangelist. For him, the best way to protect a place is to show people how special it is. So he's taking the Halls family into the heart of Isabella.
If you follow that man there, he's going to show you something amazing.
So let's see, maybe, maybe not, who knows? Remember that in Galapagos, everything is about surprises.
That is true. You weren't expecting to return home clean today, were you, Pablo? Wow. That is a good look.
Well done, Chicky. Are you going to create a storm as well? Oh, God. Turn the bath round tonight.
Come on, let's keep going.
Even mini sandstorms only keep a 3-year-old going for so long.
Can't wait until we get down the mountain.
We need to get up it first. Come on, with your stick.
But never underestimate the motivational power of a good stick.
Come on, girl, you little urchin.
However you choose to use it.
Ow! 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 Oh! Ow! Ow!
Go, go!
Ow!
Careful with this.
Ow!
Right, keep walking that way and we'll get there.
Wow, what an amazing...
Look at this.
Pablo's surprise is worth the effort.
Look at that.
He found it.
Huge volcano.
At over 3,000 feet high and 5 miles across, Sierra Negra's caldera is the second largest volcanic crater on the planet. It's elemental Galapagos, and it last erupted just 12 years ago.
Non-stop, and explosions, like boom, 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 and the background, and the colors with each explosion. You got like fireworks up there on the epicenter, all the pyroclastic coming out towards the sky. It was amazing.
Pablo is such a great communicator for these islands, so passionate, so driven. He's such a great ambassador. It's one of the greatest spectacles on the planet, isn't it? A violent volcanic eruption, and you saw it. So lucky.
It makes you feel so tiny and humble.
So important, those figures, they really are. They're the people who communicate about the islands to everyone that comes to visit.
The 200,000 plus people who visit Galapagos each year are spoilt for choice when it comes to the natural world. There's more wildlife to immerse yourself in here than almost anywhere else. But there is a downside to this ever-expanding migration of nature lovers.
I've been invited aboard the good ship Garbage, which goes around the harbour picking up all the rubbish. All right, I'm here to help, here to get stuck in.
Monty's joining George and Cirillo aboard Puerto Ayora's dustbin boat.
You do all of these boats?
Yeah.
Yeah.
La Garbage.
Yeah.
Cada bote, 1, 2, 3, así, de uno en uno.
Ah.
De uno en uno se va retirando.
Most Galapagos tourists go straight from the airport to yachts or tour boats, which take them around the islands in varying degrees of luxury.
This, for me, is a glimpse of the other side of what goes on here. Because the times I've visited, I've often been on these big luxury boats.
Few visitors see the mountain of waste they leave behind, collected every single day by the floating bin men.
These are big vessels with a large turnover of passengers. And whenever you get a large turnover of passengers, you get a large turnover of trash. Ah, there you go.
Ponte guapo, ñaño Beto, ponte guapo.
Okay.
Es importante que sepa
There's a system. There's a system. I'm messing up the system.
Contacto de la selección.
Luckily for Monty, it's pretty easy to work out.
You see all the bags are different colours. And the reason is, obviously, they've got different types of recycling in them.
On shore, another team sorts anything that can be recycled by hand. This is the front line for the future of the Galapagos. And George and Cirillo are doing as much for conservation as any scientist.
But I would argue, for the immediate area, there is no more important vessel in this harbour than this one.
As Santa Cruz produces 5,000 tons of rubbish each year, they're going to need a bigger boat.
Thanks, George. There's a great expression that says, it's a Mark Twain expression. It says, man is the only species capable of blushing and the only species that needs to. And if you look behind us there, I think, you know, that embodies that expression, really.
Rubbish isn't the only problem flying in with mass tourism. People arriving from all corners of the planet poses a much more insidious threat. Invasive species. 1 in 3 plants and almost all the reptiles here are found nowhere else on Earth. But the Galapagos ecosystem is delicately balanced. And introducing new species to this mix can have unpredictable and devastating consequences.
It's full of fire ants.
Yes. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks.
The tropical fire ant was accidentally brought here with cargo and is amongst the most pernicious.
And what ants?
Fire ants attack native insects, bird and tortoise hatchlings.
It's here, Jose. It's a fire ant.
Back at Hall's HQ, Monty has joined forces with gardener Jose, and they are using sawdust as a first line of defense against this alien invasion.
Tenemos que limpiar el área.
Oh, the whole area?
Sí.
Yeah.
The sawdust comes from the Cuban cedar tree. itself an invasive, but also a natural insect repellent.
So you sort of want to bring them out, almost. Oh, wow. Wow, just look at them, millions of them. And every single one of these has got a nasty little bite on it. Jose, I see why you have long sleeves, not short sleeves. Yeah.
Sí, hasta acá.
Ants having a field day on me.
Sí.
Feasting on me. In here, I can hardly see any ants. I was looking at millions of them a moment ago, and just all the ants. Do we need to just do the patch or the whole garden?
Sí, necesitamos cubrir el área.
Big job.
It's such a big job. But Monty needs to rally the troops.
Okay, chaps, we've got a mission.
A mission?
So we're going to put magic dust all over here to make the ants go away.
Okay.
So this is just for this area?
Wait, it's ready? I like the sawdust. I'm going to fire ants away.
And these are a couple of Jose's mates, John and Livia, who are helping us out, doing all the heavy lifting while we sprinkle sawdust.
While they clear out the ants, the family have also been asked to remove as many non-native plants as possible. And the invasive cedar and balsa trees are their first target.
Looking forward to this. I think there's going to be quite a lot of manly chopping involved. Fair amount of shirt-off action. Okay.
Okay.
Stuff. Oh, you can hear it cracking. Timber.
Oh, my. Amazing!
Yeah, good for you. Well done. Well done. Gracias. It's really important work, this. It's a little bit of Galapagos that we've got back, actually. And you can see it was higher than the scalatia next to it and taking its sunlight and dominating it. And we can use the sawdust to keep the fire ants away, of course. So, gracias, boys.
It's a small victory, but Jose and his team
Salud. Salud.
will continue to battle invasives.
Fantastic job.
One garden at a time. The Halls family are 6 weeks into their stay on the unique ecological gem that is the Galapagos.
I like Galapagos because all the wildlife there is just so amazing that I couldn't believe my eyes.
In that time, it's become clear how fragile these tiny Pacific islands are, and just how much effort it takes to support not only their wildlife, but the thousands of people who live and visit here. Over 40 different agencies share in the management of the Galapagos. But personal pride in the islands also runs through some residents, like a stick of Galapagos rock.
We are.
And the family are joining in on the annual coastal cleanup of Santa Cruz Island.
I like turning up somewhere, really getting stuck in.
Every year, since 2000, the Galapagos National Park have encouraged the whole island to come together for a giant spring clean.
Oh, let's go!
It's early in the morning, you know, 6:30, and it's a Saturday, and it's a big effort to do this and get your kids up and come out. But the lovely thing is watching the town gradually mobilise. It's a local community taking responsibility for cleaning up their area. Here you go, girl. Here's your T-shirt. Look, that means you are officially a beach cleaner. With the plastics in the ocean, you can't really find someone to blame. Although, to a degree you can, because most stuff's branded. Action for the planet. There you are.
Perfect.
Says it all, really.
Yeah. Sponsored by
Coca-Cola. A major international corporation helped fund that beach cleanup. Quite right too.
The drinks company has been sponsoring the cleanup of the beaches on Galapagos for over 10 years.
You're good at tidying up, aren't you?
I'm not, Mum.
No, tidying up is not your forte.
The cleanup team have arrived at the north end of the island. A coastal area fringed with mangroves and studded with lava rocks. Approaching from the land is a tricky business.
A man in flip-flops carrying a toddler. The ideal person to have moving through a mangrove.
We're going through a mangrove?
Yes, we're exploring.
School friend Leo helps lead the way through one of the densest bits of coastline on the whole island.
So we're going the wrong way.
Are we going the wrong way?
Yeah.
We haven't got the right shoes for climbing in mangroves, have we? Yes. Ow.
My shoes getting filled up with sand. Not sure I should even be in this group. I put on the wrong shoes.
Yeah, wrong shoes.
But once they're in, there's work to do.
Ustedes recogen basura y le van diciendo qué están cogiendo. Plástico, redes de pesca, madera, si encontraron un animal muerto, todo. Todo le indican a ella y ella la nota. Hay una que dice ficha de voluntario.
Come on, go.
And the kids are getting stuck in.
Let's go look inside the mangroves.
Yeah, inside the mangroves, that's where most of the rubbish is.
Wait here, I see a broom.
Come get the broom.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get it. It's quite a bit far for you.
Got it?
We got a broom.
Good grief, look at that. Well, if there's one place that needs a broom, it's around here, I think.
Despite their footwear, Team Mangrove have collected all this rubbish in just under 15 minutes.
Look at that. World Heritage Site for 40 years, and that's been collected in about 50, 80 metres of mangrove. Frightening, you know, it's frightening.
Across islands considered amongst the most pristine on Earth, 800 volunteers have collected 4 tons of rubbish in a single morning.
I find it overwhelming. I find it sometimes, I just think, you know, you do beach cleans and then you come back a week later and there's plastic there again.
The islands are getting in danger by all the rubbish. Bottles and clothes, plastic bags. It's really bad. Most of it blows out into the sea.
Take the bag.
But, you know, it dawned on me while we were doing that. You got 2 routes. You do something or you do nothing. And a lot of people here are doing something. We know that in 2 weeks' time, it's all going to be back. So in 2 weeks' time, we'll clean it up again. And we'll do it until hopefully it stops happening, until people learn not to dump stuff in the sea. And then when we hand these islands over to our kids, they'll be in a slightly better state. And I'll give you a bath when you get home.
Yeah?
Because you're honking.
Back home, Monty and Tam are pushing on with their sustainable garden project and spending a bit of quality time together.
Yeah. Lovely. Well, it's really nice, just outside the kitchen.
Oh, they look good, don't they?
They do.
Yeah.
And it's really, it's really satisfying.
Is
it? It's
good.
You know, I think we run around like maniacs, don't we, after the kids and,
Yes.
you know, and the Galapagos and big animals and all this amazing stuff that's going on here. And
Can I come?
yeah.
I think the last time we spent 3 months sort of solidly together as a couple was probably before Isla was born, so it's possibly over 5 years, I think.
It's really nice to just come out and
Plant some vegetables.
Yeah.
Meeting locals who are making a difference has made the family more aware of their own footprint as visitors on the islands.
You know, we've come to visit and try and find out about the islands. So that presents a whole bunch of really complex dilemmas for us as well as a family.
On top of that list is where their food comes from.
It's kind of a little bit like a MasterChef invention test. It's like you go to the supermarket and some days there'll be some items, some days there'll be different items to buy, and you kind of have to figure out what you can produce out of what's available at the time.
I will do grouper fish fingers. So this fish was swimming around when the sun came up.
Commercial fishing was banned in Galapagos 20 years ago.
Come on, quick!
But local fishing still provides the mainstay of the Galapagos diet.
That's the fish you picked at the market today.
And you carried home.
How about that, eh?
Yeah.
However delicious it might be,
Ketchup, please.
Monty wants to know how to keep this small-scale fishing sustainable.
I want something sweetie.
So next morning, he's come to the fish market with neighbour and marine conservationist Scott.
So would you say my family could buy fish here with a clear conscience? That's yellowfin tuna, isn't it?
That is a yellowfin tuna.
Now, yellowfin tuna is almost like a sacrosanct species, isn't it? It's like it's right on the edge. So is this a sustainable fishery, in your opinion?
You're right. Yellowfin sits right on that border. What we can say is this fishery in Galapagos does not negatively affect the status of that species in any way, shape, or form. It's just too small.
Only hand-caught fishing from small boats is allowed here, which puts a natural limit on the amount that's landed. But like everything here, it's complicated.
I think what does tell the story a lot more is the lobster. Lobster kind of was a really great fishery for a while, was dropping. When everyone jumped from sea cucumbers and lobster, that crashed it out, but they've been able to rebuild those fisheries.
As Monty has already seen, the temptation to cash in from illegal lobsters is too great for some to resist. But it may be possible to keep fish stocks healthy as long as everybody plays by the rules.
And if you do that, I think you can get sustainability. In fact, I would say fish is probably our best opportunity for meeting our protein needs in a sustainable way in Galapagos, but it's going to take some work.
If Monty wants to see legitimate lobster fishing in action, Scott suggests he try it out for himself.
You're going to find out just how hard it is. You're diving into cold surf. This is the rough season. You got waves going in and out. You're reaching into holes with moray eels and other things, which you'll enjoy.
Yeah.
You'll have a unique experience.
Have you done it yourself? Have you had a go?
No, I have not.
In the past, the Galapagos supplied the mainland market with lobster tails. But now, fishermen sell live lobsters to local restaurants, which is a win-win of fewer lobsters taken at greater profit. Monty's joining father and son fishing team, Enrique and Boris, to see what this means in practice.
How long do you spend in the water each night?
Per night, depend to the conditions. 7, 8, depends, yes.
That is a long time in the water.
While Monty is sensibly kitted out with modern gear to take him 20 meters down, for his air supply, Boris has a plastic hose and an ancient petrol-powered compressor. Which sounds like it's seen better days.
Has that happened before? It's been hard to start?
No, sometimes.
Yeah.
Lobsters are most active at night, making this the best time to fish. But Boris isn't the only hunter out here.
2 quite large tiger sharks were seen just up the coast. And that adds quite an interesting element because they tend to hunt at night. But, you know, Boris, he's out here every night, and he's down there on his own.
With his squeaky air compressor, Boris goes to work.
Not sure I'm going in like that.
"10 meters below the surface, in the dark of night, Monty is finding out firsthand what one of Galapagos' most dangerous jobs is all about. Fisherman Boris is on the hunt for lobsters, whilst Father Enrique watches his air supply, an old compressor. The currents are too strong for lobster pots. So fishermen scour the seabed by hand, hauling themselves over volcanic boulders and delving deep into cracks. Boris plays by the rules. Any lobsters he does catch must be above the minimum permitted size. It's slim pickings at high personal risk. The compressor has died.
No, solamente una burbujita nomás. ¡Ay!
It won't start with the drive belt on. So Enrique takes it off. And must now flick it back on to a spinning wheel.
Ya, Boris!
His air is back on, but Boris has had enough for tonight.
Ay, no, papacito.
It's a dangerous game, this. It's a dangerous game.
If someone said to me, "Oh, yeah, I'm a lobster diver in the Galapagos," I'd be like, "Oh, what a great life." It's not a great life. It's grim.
There's an expression that says about fishermen, it says the boats are made of wood, but the men are made of iron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The huge effort required to land even a single lobster naturally protects their numbers. With proper regulation, this means that legitimate fishermen can make a living without destroying stocks.
It's a male. Yeah.
There are ways for people on Galapagos to get a good feed without endangering life and limb. And the family are embracing them all.
We're building a chicken coop.
Do you want me to get a piece of paper and a pen so you can draw it out and see?
Oh, no, we're doing that. We're a couple of blokes building something. We wouldn't do any plans. Now, Isla, there you go. Take that over there.
What could possibly go wrong?
Robbie round the back of the head. Put a bit of glue on there, please. Oh-cha! Not that much. Good grief.
How did you get it on your head?
Oh, I was just flicking my paintbrush. Our chickens are here!
It's a chicken with a little Mohican.
Look! That knows we've got at home. Right.
He's so cute. Our chickens' names are Bonface, Violet,
They might not be used to being held by young girls, so they might have got... There you go.
Bo, and Cookie, because they have a cock. Poor you, you're just looking good.
Oh, easy. He's got attitude. Shall we put him in?
He's psychopathic.
Mummy hates cocks.
Pick that one up. He looks...
Wow.
There you go.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
Thank you.
We now have chickens.
Yeah.
Come on, out your way.
Okay.
It may take a few days for the chickens to settle in before they start laying.
We're not roasting these chickens.
No, we're not. Well, we might roast Bumface. How about that?
No.
In the meantime, Monty knows the perfect place where he can vouch for the sustainability of a family dinner.
It's really delicious, isn't it?
Yummy, yummy.
A lobster with tomato ketchup.
I'm slightly alarmed that, as of tonight, at least 50% of my family love lobster.
We're definitely coming back.
Yeah.
40 years since the Galapagos became a World Heritage Site, they are struggling to support the demands of so many people wanting to come here.
And you see stuff that can be a little bit disheartening. You see tortoises expanding. You see too many boats in the harbour. You see 6 flights a day. And stuff like that can make you think, oh, yeah, there's snags here, really. But then you meet certain really inspiring individuals.
Monty has learned that where people are undoubtedly the problem, they are also the solution.
These islands are going to have a positive future. It's going to come from the individuals within the Galapagos.
The Galapagos Islands, the most extraordinary place on Earth, where spectacular animals live side by side with people. Meet Monty Halls, explorer and marine biologist, and his unique research team, wife Tam and kids Isla and Molly.
There is no greater explorer than a 5-year-old.
Oh, look, Daddy, that was had 2 babies.
Oh, yeah.
In the 4 decades since Galapagos became a World Heritage Site, the world's human population has almost doubled, whilst global wildlife numbers have halved. In their final weeks here, the family will investigate the fate of the ocean's most infamous creature.
I can see a shark over here. I can see some 2 sharks.
To find out how our actions, even from thousands of miles away, can have such dramatic consequences.
That is an endangered animal. There aren't many of them left.
And to see how these islands are trying to set an example for the rest of the world to follow.
How is that?
Masses of them.
Oh, amazing.
Now is a really pivotal time. We've got to get this right now.
On the Galapagos, each day brings new experiences for the whole family.
Hello.
Look.
And with just a month left of their stay, this remarkable world is beginning to feel like home.
All that I really like, Galapagos, the wildlife.
And he's talking to you.
Especially love lizards and geckos and sea lions and sharks.
600 feet up in the cloud forest of Santa Cruz Island, the family are embracing the good life with the help of neighbor Jose.
Looking good.
This is amazing. They've grown really quickly in our time here. It's brilliant.
Look at that. Isn't that amazing?
You can take those back into the kitchen and come out with another bowl.
I will.
And these radishes. How do we say it in Spanish?
Rábanos.
Rábanos. Yeah, I think especially here, you know, we know that a lot of the food, the fruit and vegetables are imported from the mainland. You know, it's a lot more sustainable to try and grow as much as you can yourself. That's on really firmly. There we go. Amazing. God, it's heavy. There we go.
Chicken.
Yes, they'll love it.
And the chickens have come good, too.
We had 3 eggs yesterday and 6 eggs there. Ah, an egg! 2 eggs! What have you got? 2 eggs! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we've got 9 eggs from them.
Nice strong shells. Whee! Nice orange yolks. It's working, isn't it? Second breakfast. Very
Given
yellow.
the size of the egg, it's just enough for 1 3-year-old, isn't it?
Perfect.
Make some more! Make some more!
Make some more. We need the chickens to make some more. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Be hot though. Is it tasty?
Breakfast over. The family is off to find a creature that may be somewhat unloved, but is still hugely important. They're stepping into a fantasy world in search of one of Galapagos' most peculiar but compelling inhabitants.
Look, there's a big one.
That's a huge one.
When Charles Darwin first saw these lizards, he dismissed them as hideous, dirty, and stupid.
So this is what they do most of the time. They just lie around in the sun,
Wow.
trying to get hot.
That was just like a statue.
It is, isn't it?
But we now know just how special they are. Their ancestors floated here some 10 million years ago. With little to eat on land, they've since evolved into the world's only lizard that forages in the sea, the marine iguana.
They have sharp claws, and they use those sharp claws to climb on rocks. And I'll tell you how they can climb on rocks. All the little holes, there's actually lava.
For today's zoologists, they are amongst the most remarkable creatures on Earth. And the zoologists of tomorrow seem pretty impressed, too.
They shave their skin. And you know what shave means? It means their skin comes off.
The marine iguana shows that even creatures with bad PR can turn out to be hugely important. And worth protecting.
And suddenly over this lava reef comes a marine iguana, and a big one as well, and swims right past you and your little sister. That's in the bank forever, that.
Monty knows all about championing a creature that others might dismiss. He's a shark fanatic. These waters are like a living aquarium. By weight, there is more than twice as much fish here as anywhere else on Earth. And that includes the world's largest concentration of sharks. But the story here is complicated, as Monty saw for himself 2 months ago.
I've just landed in the island literally a few hours ago.
The Galapagos' largest ever haul of illegally caught sharks had just been seized. As a marine biologist, Monty was shocked by the cargo. Endangered species like silkies and hammerheads, most likely destined for shark fin soup.
Imagine if a container was found in Africa with 700 lions in it. 300 tons of lions had been taken illegally. There would be global outrage. This has to stop. Otherwise, the shark will disappear from these islands. you know, without a doubt. And if the shark disappears from these islands, then what is the future of the shark everywhere else in the world as well? You know, it's shocking, absolutely shocking.
The relationship between people and sharks on these islands will be key to their survival around the world. Monty's come to meet a dive guide who he first worked with over 15 years ago.
Hey, man, how you doing? Nice to see you, man.
Good to see you. How's things?
Macaron has seen both sides of the shark story.
Coming from the fisher family, so I start to have problems with to pay the credit in the bank. So finally, somebody say, okay, I have 1 million sucres, bring me the fins of the sharks. My father and me, we keep the secret. We work in 2 months, we pay the credit, and finally, we decide never again. If you see my logo, it's the sea lions, look like a fins of the manta, but also look like a dorsal fin of the sharks. This, when I have my business, put this one because in the memory of the sharks and manta I kill. To keep in mind to never do again.
Yeah,
that happened.
As a one-time shark finner, is Macaron more sanguine about large boats fishing for sharks?
Macaron, you've got a really close connection with the sharks here.
Correct.
What did you think of that boat coming in?
That's really painful. Because Galapagos depended on that, you know?
Yeah.
I feel bad for that. I hope the government take good decisions and control that situation. They have the great opportunity to let know to everyone around the world now, because it's now or never. So if they don't do nothing now, probably 10 years, we'll be here to talk about the other things, but no more about the sharks.
You've got to get ready, haven't you? You're diving tomorrow?
Yeah, we have ready 12 persons for tomorrow, so we prepare the last details. And
It's a wonderful conversion that's happened there. He is an ex-fisherman. He's done shark finning in the past, and now he is the strongest advocate and ambassador for saving the sharks here. And one of the reasons is that it provides his living. Now, I'm not being overly cynical there, because he obviously appreciates their beauty and their value in terms of the ecosystem, but it also provides a living for him.
Macaron's conversion shows that healthy shark populations are vital for Galapagos Islanders as well as Galapagos ecosystems.
It's been estimated that a shark is worth 1,000 times more to the local economy alive than it is when it's just caught as a foodstuff or caught for its fins. It's those epic shoals of sharks are what bring people from across the world.
To find out exactly what is being done to protect these shoals, Monty is meeting with the Marine Department of the Galapagos National Park. It's their job to monitor and protect the wildlife in the marine reserve, in particular around the islands of Wolf and Darwin. Charles Darwin's last stop. These islands are almost off the edge of the map and cover less than 1 square mile. But the seas and sharks around them are so important that they are surrounded by a protected zone, the size of Belgium.
I'm 50 years old now, and I've waited about 43 years to go to Wolf and Darwin. I really have. I heard about them when I was a tiny little kid. These mythical islands, these volcanic pinnacles in the middle of the ocean, circled by huge shoals of hammerheads and tiger sharks and whale sharks. All the ocean's giants are drawn to these pinnacles. You know, it's like Mordor.
With their legendary shark populations now threatened like never before, joining forces with a national park might be Monty's last chance to see the visions of his childhood dreams.
Muchas gracias. Thank you, Harry. Ciao.
And help protect them into the future.
That meeting wasn't the culmination of an ambition just since I've been in the Galapagos. It's the culmination of a lifetime's ambition, because I've been invited on a shark research expedition to Wolf and Darwin.
It's the Halls family's last few weeks on the Galapagos Islands. And Monty has been given the chance to round off his trip with a major shark research expedition. The family are discussing the wildlife he might encounter there, but with a twist.
A fish! A fish!
I'll do this one.
Pelican. An albatross.
No, I've got these, and I fly, but not in the sky.
I have an idea, a manta ray?
Yes!
Ah, very good. Sally Lightfoot crab.
A squid?
Snake.
Molly, tell us. What is it?
No, don't tell us. Keep going.
Centipede?
Is it in the water? Is it a fish? It's a fish.
Another fish. A feather,
Something on the land. A giraffe?
It's obvious.
A parrot.
What could it
A
possibly...
turtle.
Well done. Right, Moles, you're up.
Moles, what are you going to do now? Is it a fish again?
Is it a fish again? Fantastic.
There's one animal that Monty wants to see above all others.
A shark.
Very good. Ever since I was a little kid, I've just been fascinated with sharks. It's one of those things, you know, my room was covered in shark posters, and I still remember seeing my first shark.
I can see a shark over here. I can see some two sharks.
For me, it was like seeing a dragon, like seeing a minotaur, a mythical monster made real. And I've just always been obsessed by them. I just think they're extraordinary animals. They predate the dinosaurs. There's just something about them that is utterly compelling, and that's never gone away from me.
On islands as sharky as the Galapagos, Monty wants to find out whether his childhood obsession has bitten any of the local kids. He's come to school with Isla to give a talk about his favorite animal and to find out what it's like to share your weekend swimming spots with a top predator.
How many senses do sharks have? 6. Genius. Emilio is having a swim. Right, keep swimming, Amelia. Otherwise you'll sink. Who here is frightened of sharks? Brilliant. If I ask the same question to a group of children in America or in England, they all put their hands up. You're 290 times more likely to be killed by a hippo than you are by a shark.
Almost everywhere else in the world, sharks provoke fear. But here, things are different. Around these islands, deep water upwellings mix with cold and warm ocean currents to create the perfect conditions for at least 33 species of shark, which makes these islands one of their last strongholds.
You have an extraordinary animal off your coastline, and its future depends entirely on you.
Local children embrace the shark, something Isla has seen firsthand. And Monty thinks it's time for her to do the same. They've joined wildlife guide Pablo, who knows a spot where Isla can do something she wouldn't have dreamt of just 2 months ago.
What about trying to find some sharks, but in the water?
How about that?
Maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe more.
There is no way, with all respect to them, but there is no way my parents would have put me in the water with a bunch of sharks. Of course not. Okay.
I'm just so ready to go in the ocean.
Let me know.
No, wait.
Okay. We're in.
While Isla is raring to go, Tam is a little more cautious.
There might be sharks down there that are probably as long as Mon, really. It's like me or Mon going in with a tiger shark or a great white. You know, it's a really, really big ones in comparison.
Swimming with sharks might seem a terrifying prospect. But with expert advice, you can get close without putting your 5-year-old in danger.
I'm sure she'll be fine.
Today's target is the white-tip reef shark. And Pablo knows exactly where to find them. Over 5 foot long, they are voracious hunters. But fortunately, only by night. Most sharks need to swim to breathe, but not these white tips, who can spend daylight hours lying low on the seabed.
And they say that, you know, the definition of like being a good parent is that your kids know more about the world than you did at the same age.
Utterly brilliant.
And maybe we can say that about Ireland with sharks now.
How is that?
Masses of them.
Oh, amazing.
I can't give you a high five somewhere. Whenever you're swimming with a shark, just be calm, okay? They can sometimes eat people, but they just spit them out.
Sharks aren't just slightly scary playmates. To understand and care about them, you need to appreciate their complexities. Although Galapagos is home to the largest concentrations in the world, even here, shark science is still in its infancy. Before heading off on his major research trip, Monty's joining a smaller team studying a very unusual species. The small, shy, spotty Galapagos bullhead, which could be just as important as its more fearsome cousins.
So timing is pretty important for us because we want to know how long do we handle a shark. It's got to be as quick as possible.
Yeah.
We want to have the least impact on the animal we can.
Since 2015, Max has been investigating whether this shark, like its neighbor, the marine iguana, is unique to the Galapagos. To prove it is, Max needs samples, which means getting hold of the sharks underwater.
There's a perception of these islands that they're a kind of tropical paradise and it's all crystal clear water and still and calm. And it's anything but. There's huge currents that swirl around essentially the top of underwater volcanoes. And as such, diving here can be quite challenging.
Bullhead sharks spend most of their time hiding in rocky reefs. But they have got a turn of speed when they need it. Target acquired. Hormones in this blood sample will show how developed the shark is. Whilst DNA will be compared with other species to see if Galapagos bullheads are indeed unique. Finally, the shark is measured and photographed. Its identifying spots are as unique as our fingerprints. 6 minutes from start to finish.
Why go to all this effort for this little shark, this little spotted shark?
Yeah. We're just really starting to understand what's happening with the sharks here, how they behave, where do they move, where do they reside, if they're traveling to other places in the Pacific Ocean and so on. We know so far there's more than 500 species of sharks in the ocean. But the fun part is that we're still finding new species of sharks. So that gives you an idea how much there is still to learn. We're really racing extinction here because we don't want to get species extinct before we're actually really finding out where they are, who they are.
In an ocean where all sharks are endangered, The efforts of a single scientist like Max can make a huge difference to the survival of a species that might otherwise be accidentally lost forever. The Halls family have been exploring the Galapagos for 3 months.
Right, up we go, let's go.
Living like locals and finding out just how closely animals and humans share each other's worlds.
We got bitten by fire ants. We can see pelicans.
Moths!
Now Monty has been invited on one last expedition of a lifetime to the remote island shark strongholds of Wolf and Darwin.
I'm 50 years old now, and I've waited about 43 years to go to Wolf and Darwin.
Molly!
But Isla and Molly are due back at school in England.
It's going to take a bit of time, but we're getting there, aren't we?
So while Monty packs for his final adventure, Tam and the girls will head back home to Devon.
What's this in the bag? There's a little girl in my bag.
I'm slightly envious, but equally, I think we're ready to go home, and it's definitely not a place for a 3- and a 5-year-old up there, because they're going to be on a boat that's going to be doing this for a lot, so it's going to be quite wild, I think.
It's time for goodbyes at Isla's Galapagos school.
Can you help me give them out? They're sweeties.
These are not, though. I don't think she wants to leave. That's a problem.
Ciao.
Before one last boat trip, the ferry to the airport.
Bye, Daddy.
Well, just come back into the house, having dropped the family off at the airport. Look at that, it's like a crime scene. There's a half-eaten bowl of porridge, there's a mysterious deflated lilo. But listen to this. It's total silence. It feels very, very strange indeed. Oh, I miss them.
There's no time to dwell on it, because next morning, Monty has work to do. With fellow team member Robbie, he's joining the crew on board their shark research boat.
Hi, Harry.
The Queen Mabel.
There you go, skipper. Gracias.
The only thing majestic about Mabel is her name. In a harbour of luxury yachts, she's a little less refined. Just 50 foot long by 15 across, the triple-decked converted cargo boat will be Monty's home for the next 10 days. Travelling nearly 200 miles out to where few boats venture.
So did you get seasick, Robbie?
Unfortunately, yes. Not always, not constantly, but sometimes. And I know it's the worst thing in the world.
It is, isn't it? No, I'm the same. I get seasick. I get seasick on certain boats, and I just have an inkling that Queen Mabel may be one of those boats.
Once at the islands, the Queen Mabel will become the dive base for tagging and identifying sharks, to track their movements to and from the marine reserve along so-called shark corridors. There could be 1 billion sharks in the ocean, but maybe 100 million are killed each year. And they are so slow to reproduce that some scientists predict they could be extinct within just a few decades. Which makes trips like this so important.
So this is the Queen Mabel. There's the crew, just dinner, getting ready to say hello, chaps. Hola, hola. There's the hardest working man on the boat. It's the chef. Beautiful evening. We're just steaming up to Wolf and Darwin. Tanks there have all got diesel in. The ones down the side have got water in, just carrying all the supplies that we need for this long trip. Look at this, what an evening. Look at that. Yeah, you do not want to go in there. We are in the middle of nowhere. And here's my little cabin, which is small, very small. But I'm fortunate, quite frankly, to have a cabin on my own. A lot of other people on board are sharing. I hope we don't need those at any point. It's a long float to anywhere. That is the Queen Mabel. That's home for a week.
In charge of the research are 2 shark scientists, veterans of countless expeditions.
Jeff and Harry both work for the national park, and their specialty is sharks. And this is part of a tagging program, putting these acoustic tags in. Now there's listening stations all the way around the Galapagos that pick up these tags when the tags go within 300 meters of them. And it's a brilliant way of monitoring the movement of sharks in the Galapagos and outside the Galapagos as well.
Tags have revealed some sharks cross thousands of miles of open ocean. They help define shark territories, which are vital when it comes to protecting them.
There is evidence that the sharks are moving along corridors. And these corridors connect Malpelo, Cocos, Galapagos. And if you can prove that, you can get those corridors protected. Now, this tag will transmit for 10 years. So obviously that barb has to go through the skin, this incredibly tough skin, and lodge underneath. It doesn't really hurt the shark. Shark skin's so incredibly tough.
National park scientists began tagging sharks 10 years ago, making 4 trips a year to Wolf and Darwin. They only managed to tag on average 5 sharks per trip. So each additional tag helps add to the data they are bringing in.
1 down, 6 to go.
While Jeff and Harry are tagging, Monty has his own role to play. It's the season for annual migration through these waters of the world's largest fish, the 20-ton whale shark. And Monty is hoping to catch one on camera.
It's very important to see how many whale sharks come here to Galapagos, or stay in Galapagos, or pass to Galapagos. Now in the national park have a database about all the information.
For every whale shark coming through every whale shark, the spots are unique, aren't they?
It's like us.
Like a fingerprint. Yeah.
24 hours after setting off, the mist clears to reveal a sight Monty's waited almost his whole life to see.
Well, that's Wolf, right there. That is the promised land. You can see why it's so spectacular underwater, is the cliffs just drop off. These drop-offs will continue underwater. You get huge upwellings, lots of nutrients, oxygen-rich water, and they just become focal points where animals gather.
It's time to see whether Wolf lives up to the hype as the team dive in search of migratory sharks like hammerheads or silkies. The huge variety of life shows how rich the sea can be when it's protected. As top predators, sharks preserve the sea's complex food systems. Losing them could have unpredictable and devastating consequences for many of these creatures. The search continues into a cave 20 meters below the surface. Home to a giant ray, but nothing else. At one of the sharkiest spots on Earth, today's search has drawn a blank. The team is putting a brave face on the disappointment.
No joy. But there you go, that's the name of the game, you know? And we just got to keep going out and keep trying.
The next day, the worried scientists have switched to Plan B.
Good morning. We've had to move. We've had to move from Wolf
No joy at all. So a little overnight steam to Darwin. We're not there yet. We're going to be there in a couple of hours, probably. So I've just woken up, so I'm going to go and get a cup of coffee. And hopefully today will bring all sorts of success. We'll see.
Over 150 miles from human habitation, a pinprick in a vast, unpredictable ocean. Monty's still holding out for the sharks he's been dreaming of.
That is Darwin's Arch, a truly legendary structure in the world of diving and biology. This is the final outpost of the Galapagos Islands to the north. And it's always been known as a beacon for big animals. Someone's just fallen overboard.
¿Lo viste cuando en el momento que cayó?
With currents running faster than 4 knots, they need to get to him fast.
Tranquilo, bro, tranquilo. ¿Cuánto está ahí? ¿Cuánto está ahí? Ayúdale ahí.
He's back in, thank God. Look out there, you wouldn't have a chance, would you? Seeing a little head just bobbing around out there. Yeah. It's a nanosecond, like one time you're all having a great time, you're all excited, and the next minute you're overboard and you're watching the vessel disappear, and it is every mariner's nightmare. I could see his facial expression, and he was petrified.
The crewman's back on board, more scared than hurt.
You okay? Yeah. Thank God someone noticed him go over. I always think of the kids when I do stuff like this nowadays. You know, I never used to think about stuff like that, but, you know, really, I think about Isla and Molly and how important it is to have their dad around. So, yeah, quite interesting.
As they approach the site of their final dives, Jeff has something to show Monty that reminds him just how important their work is.
This is footage of a whale shark, dead whale shark, a juvenile, young one, being lifted out the hold of the Chinese fishing boat. There's something particularly tragic about a whale shark, the carcass.
That was young, and never a revolution.
It's tragic because it's short-term gain. So the owner of that fishing boat can make a few $100s, you know. And I know it's easy to be simplistic and it's easy to say, oh, why hasn't everyone got a conservation angle on this? But genuinely, that is an endangered animal. There aren't many of them left. It's horrendous footage to see and harrowing, really. It's harrowing looking at it.
The stakes for protecting sharks are higher than ever. And the team are hoping that the waters around Darwin will give them the chance they need to help.
I really want you guys to get a tag in, because I know you'll be like that. And I want to get that photograph, beautiful photograph of the whale shark.
Okay.
Yeah.
So today is the day.
Today's the day.
Yeah.
Today is the day.
Hoy es el día. Hoy es el día.
For their last throw of the dice, the team are out in force. The success of the whole trip rests on this final dive. So there's no room for error.
initial phase, I'm just trying to work my hair as best I can. I'll stay a little above you on the reef, but I'm always watching you. And if you see anything, just wave it down, I'll come straight over.
Jeff and Harry have chosen to free dive in case their scuba bubbles spook the sharks. It's a gamble, which means if they do spot a shark, they'll have only a single breath with which to dive 20 meters down to tag it. At last, the site they've crossed the ocean for. Sharks. Darwin is famed for its hammerheads, but over 2.5 million of them may be killed every year for their fins. Numbers of these scalloped hammerheads have declined by 95% in just 30 years. They can swim at up to 30 miles an hour, a huge challenge for taggers on a single breath. Below them, a silky shark. Jeff shoots the tag. It doesn't stick. He has to surface for air. Try again. They've tagged fewer than 30 of these in 10 years of trying. At last, a tag sticks in one of the most important species here. The team are ecstatic. But Darwin has one last trick up its sleeve. A whale shark. They can grow 20 meters long, but much of their life is a mystery. No one's ever seen them mate or give birth, and we don't even know how many of them exist. Their spots are unique, so clear photographs allow scientists to identify them wherever they travel in the world. A shot of this one will help shed light on one of Earth's most magnificent and mysterious creatures and protect it into the future. Monty thinks he's got it. In the last dive of the last week of his 3-month stay in the Galapagos, Monty and the team's mission has come good.
It's a belter, isn't it? That's going to be a belting shot. But lovely, it's great for the ID, because you can see every marking right along the flank. And left-hand side. Yeah, identification, yeah. Female, yeah, pregnant. Pregnant female, yeah. Immense.
The photos and tags from this trip will produce invaluable data for years to come and help protect Galapagos sharks and all of our oceans.
Nice dive today.
I'm a happy man now. Go home now. Go home, we're all done. Go home. Home beer.
Success at the island of Darwin is a fitting end to the Halls family's journey of a lifetime.
He's very big.
And the perfect time to reflect on the original adventurer to these islands and what he would make of them today.
Charles Darwin visited these islands 183 years ago. He would have been distraught at certain things.
Everything to do with human existence is here on this beach.
Diamonds are forever.
Yeah, and plastic is too.
But I think he would have been heartened at other things.
A ver, vamos. A ver, Whoa!
He would have been amazed at DNA sampling.
That's a little hard drive, that is.
Amazed at the stories that have emerged from the islands he visited.
Wow, what an amazing view.
A day in the life of a green sea turtle in the lab.
How wonderful. And I also think he would have got stuck in.
So you're leading the charge for the next generation.
We could say that all kids are.
Wow.
For the Halls family, it's the end of one adventure.
Princess dress, hello.
But the Galapagos will stay with them, wherever their journeys take them.
We've had complete freedom here, really, and that's something that we'll miss when we get home.
For the kids, it's like magic.
Isla, what was your favourite animal that you've seen in the Galapagos?
The sea lion. I'm gonna research and help the animals here.
Molly, what was your favourite thing in the Galapagos?
Fishies!